Long ago, Japan wanted to build the most powerful warships in the world. To learn from the very best, they asked a British company to help. In 1911, an order was placed for a new kind of warship, a battlecruiser named Kongō. She was designed by a brilliant British naval engineer named George Thurston. Her construction began in a shipyard in Barrow-in-Furness, England. This made Kongō very special because she was the last great Japanese warship to be built in a foreign country. When she was finished and joined the Imperial Japanese Navy in August 1913, she was a true giant of the ocean, a symbol of Japan's growing power. Kongō was enormous for her time, a true titan of the waves. She measured over 222 meters long, which is longer than 2 football pitches placed end to end. Her powerful steam turbines could push her through the water at an incredible speed of 30 knots, or about 56 kilometers per hour. This speed made her one of the fastest capital ships afloat, able to chase down enemies or escape from danger quickly. She was not just fast, she was also armed with fearsome weapons. Her main guns were 8 massive 14-inch cannons, capable of hurling enormous explosive shells over vast distances with devastating accuracy. However, the story of her birth was not without trouble. A big problem, known as the Siemens-Vickers scandal, came to light in 1914. It was discovered that the British company, Vickers, had paid a large amount of money in secret to important Japanese naval officials. This was done to make sure they won the contract to build Kongō. This news caused a great deal of anger in Japan. It led to the punishment of several officials and even caused the Prime Minister's government to fall. Despite this rocky start, Kongō's journey as a warship was only just beginning, and she would go on to serve for many decades. After joining the fleet, Kongō began her long and eventful career. During the First World War, she patrolled the coast of China, helping to protect Japan's interests. She did not see much fighting in this period, but she was kept busy and ready for action. In the years that followed the war, navies around the world agreed to limit the number of new ships they could build. This meant that older ships like Kongō became even more important. Japan decided to improve her instead of building new vessels. One of her first big changes was the rebuilding of her forward tower into what was called a pagoda mast, giving her a unique and imposing silhouette. As the years passed, the nature of naval warfare began to change dramatically. To keep up with these new challenges, Japan decided that Kongō needed a major upgrade. Between 1929 and 1931, she was taken into a dry dock at the Yokosuka Naval Arsenal for her first big reconstruction. Workers gave her thicker armor to protect her from shells and torpedoes. They also added special bulges to the sides of her hull, which made her more stable and harder to sink. Her old coal-burning boilers were all removed and replaced with newer, more efficient ones. These changes made her stronger and tougher, and she was officially reclassified from a battlecruiser to a battleship. But Japan was not finished improving its famous warship. A second, even more extensive reconstruction took place between 1935 and 1937. This time, the goal was to make Kongō fast enough to escort Japan's new and powerful aircraft carriers. Her entire engine system was replaced with modern oil-fired boilers and new turbines, which significantly boosted her power. Her stern was lengthened to make her more streamlined, allowing her to slice through the water at over 30 knots once again. This incredible speed for a ship of her size was very rare, and she was given a new title, Fast Battleship. Her weapons were also improved to face new threats, especially from the air. While she kept her mighty 14-inch main guns, many of her smaller guns were replaced. New 5-inch dual-purpose guns were added, which could fire at both enemy ships and aircraft. As the threat of air attacks grew, she was later fitted with dozens and dozens of 25mm anti-aircraft autocannons. By 1944, she had over 100 of these small, rapid-firing guns studding her decks. She was also equipped with catapults that could launch 3 float planes, which acted as her eyes in the sky, searching for enemy ships or spotting for her long-range guns. These incredible transformations turned Kongō from a pre-World War I battlecruiser into a modern weapon of war, ready for the challenges of World War II. She looked very different from the ship that had first sailed from England. Her tall pagoda mast was now packed with observation platforms and rangefinders, making her look like a floating fortress. The upgrades were so extensive that they technically broke the rules of the naval treaties Japan had signed. But by the time her rebuild was complete, the world was moving closer to another global conflict, and Kongō was prepared to play a central role in the battles to come. When World War II began in the Pacific, Kongō was at the forefront of Japan's naval operations. As a fast battleship, her main job was to protect Japan's aircraft carriers, the most important ships in the fleet. In late 1941 and early 1942, she sailed with the invasion forces that attacked British Malaya and the Dutch East Indies. She was also part of a powerful fleet that entered the Indian Ocean in April 1942, launching devastating air raids on British bases. Later that year, she was part of the massive fleet sent to capture Midway Island, though she did not see direct combat in that famous and decisive battle for Japan. Kongō's most successful action came during the long and brutal Guadalcanal campaign. On the night of October 13, 1942, American forces held a vital airfield on the island called Henderson Field. To destroy it, Kongō and her sister ship, Haruna, sailed close to the shore under the cover of darkness. For over an hour, they unleashed a terrifying bombardment. Kongō alone fired nearly 514-inch shells onto the airfield. The massive explosions destroyed nearly 50 American aircraft, burned most of their fuel supplies, and badly damaged the runways. It was the single most destructive battleship bombardment against a land target of the entire war. 2 years later, in October 1944, Kongō fought in her final and most famous engagement, the Battle of Leyte Gulf. She was part of a powerful Japanese force sent to attack the American landing fleets in the Philippines, in a part of the battle known as the Battle of Samar. Kongō and other Japanese warships surprised a small group of American escort carriers and destroyers. In the chaotic fight that followed, Kongō fired her guns at several American ships. She scored hits on the destroyer escort USS Samuel B. Roberts, helping to sink the small but incredibly brave vessel that fought fiercely against overwhelming odds. During the Battle of Samar, Kongō displayed her full power, firing hundreds of shells from her main and secondary guns. She helped to damage another American destroyer, the USS Heermann, with near misses that exploded under its hull. Although the Japanese force was much stronger, the heroic defense by the small American ships known as Taffy 3 confused the Japanese admiral. He eventually ordered his fleet, including Kongō, to turn back before they could reach the vulnerable landing ships. It was a missed opportunity for Japan, but it had been a brutal and desperate fight for Kongō and her crew. After the Great Battle at Leyte Gulf, Kongō was ordered to return to Japan for repairs and to get more supplies. On November 21, 1944, she was sailing through the Formosa Strait, a dangerous stretch of water between Taiwan and China. She was escorted by other warships, but they were being watched. An American submarine, the USS Sealion, had detected the Japanese fleet. In the early hours of the morning, while it was still dark, the Sealion moved into position and fired a spread of 6 torpedoes. The attack was swift and deadly, and it would seal the fate of the veteran battleship. 2 of the torpedoes slammed into Kongō's left side, tearing huge holes in her hull. Water rushed into her boiler rooms, extinguishing the fires and causing the ship to lose power. A 3rd torpedo from the same attack struck and sank one of her escorting destroyers. At first, it seemed Kongō might survive. Her crew worked hard to control the flooding, and she was still able to move through the water at a reduced speed, but the damage was too severe. The ship began to lean dangerously to one side, and her speed continued to drop until she was dead in the water. As the minutes ticked by, the ship's list grew worse and worse. It became clear that Kongō could not be saved. Just before dawn, with the ship leaning at a terrifying 45-degree angle, the captain gave the heartbreaking order to abandon ship. The crew began to scramble off the doomed vessel into the dark, cold water. Moments later, at 5:24 a.m., a massive explosion ripped through the ship. One of her forward magazines, where the giant 14-inch shells were stored, had detonated. The blast tore Kongō apart and she sank with incredible speed, taking over 1,200 of her crew with her. Kongō's sinking was unique. She was the only Japanese battleship to be sunk by a submarine during all of World War II. Her long and storied career, which had begun in a British shipyard over 30 years earlier, had come to a violent end. Today, Kongō is remembered as a powerful and historic warship that fought in some of the most important naval battles of the Pacific War. Yet, a mystery remains. Despite many searches, her wreck has never been found. Somewhere at the bottom of the Formosa Strait lies the Lost Warrior, a silent monument to a bygone era of naval warfare.